Hey y'all.
Morning.
Hey.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't sure if Steffi, yeah, I thought she said she was going to be gone this week. I don't know if we should wait for her or not. I'm confused. Yeah, I guess we could get started. It's 9 Pacific. Yeah, so today let's do demos and then probably want to spend most of the time with the final retrospective because this is our last time meeting as like just this group. And then next week's going to be the full cohort. And I believe they're just going to have like a representative from each team demo the final project was my understanding. But TBD on that. I may not be right. But yeah, keep an eye out like in the main cohort channel and like your emails. You should probably be getting an email at some point with like an invite for next week. To my knowledge, I don't think that's been scheduled yet, but we'll keep you posted. So yeah, let's start with demos and then yeah, bulk of the time I think should probably be retro. Does anyone want to volunteer to demo some of the stuff you guys have done this week?
Danielle, so I was under the impression that the demos would be the same as last week, like the same style, where we can choose to just discuss as opposed to do an app demo or code walkthrough. Is that fine?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I didn't
Okay.
specify that. Yeah, same as last week. So like kind of more
Okay.
laid.
All right. I can start off then. So I worked on the navigation bar. Um, I spent I spent a lot of time like styling. I frankly I suck at styling, so like this was a good opportunity to like practice and like really just work on using Tailwind to get it to match the Figma mockup that we had. The Figma mockup was really well done, so I was trying to get that as close as possible. Um, I have so far like we have what we decided on was like two sections. So one with with a section of the users lists of whatever shopping lists they have, and then the other section was lists that were shared with them. Um, and yeah, Ella helped me out. Ella helped me out by sharing a few lists with me, and I was able to just like manually add a few more. And both sections are behaving like they should in terms of like a scroll bar appearing when there are a good number of items in the list. When there are no items, each section will say no lists, what if there are none. Um, yeah, and last night I finished like incorporating our add item feature in the nav bar itself. So the functionality for that was already done in one of our previous issues. But I just basically use conditional rendering so that if the user clicks on new list, it'll show the create list form. And then if they can close out of that to get back to like displaying their lists again in the nav bar. Um, the only thing I have left to do for this issue is, and I haven't decided, like, I've never done this, so I don't know how long it'll take, but for a stretch goal, we want like a slide in, slide out transition. Um, so I have an idea of how to do it, and I've already communicated to our group because I've taken a long time on this issue. Like my goal is to get it for review by Monday night. So if I can get that done, great. If I can't, then I'm submitting the like with at least the core goals done. So that's my presentation for today.
And
Whoever wants, yeah,
a lot of our
good.
stuff is intertwined, so I didn't know if like what you wanted to share or if you want to share or if you want me to just demo. So
Yeah, if you want to do it, I'm so tired today. So.
yeah, I can do it. I'm not gonna do a code walkthrough. I'm just gonna do the demo because uh there's so much code to walk through if I was to do that. Give me one second. Okay. Moving down here. Okay, so we have our homepage. Some things that were added. We've got some new styling by Hannah, closely, or I guess this is actually styling that I did. My bad. Hannah's is going to be on the list page. So some styling here, to more closely resemble the Figma. And then our search, we have updated the styling for our like urgency messages. For our inactive, it will kind of lighten it. And then I updated the checked, so now the check does go back to having like the gray checked. If you're on the home page, you can now delete lists. So if I'm deleting a list that is uh, shared with me, it's really long, but there wasn't really, I'm open to more concise messages. But basically like if this list has been shared with you, deleting it will remove it from your list and you'll lose access. Oop, that says loose. I gotta change that. You will lose access unless it's shared with you again. Are you sure you want to proceed with the deletion? If it's your own list and you're trying to delete it, it'll say deleting this list will remove it for everyone who has access to it. Are you sure you want to delete your closed list? And then when you are, oh, this isn't updated. Hold on. I need to go to, I'm using the deployed version, but the deployed version does not have my share feature for some reason. 1 second. Okay. I also forgot to show Steffi's part. So Steffi's part is the login page. So we have our login page. You verify. We changed it to have the pop-up because we were having issues with it when we were on different browsers. If you're on your list page, we now have our share list feature. So if you clicked the share list, you can select a list that you want to share. It won't share, or it won't show you any lists that aren't owned by you, because you shouldn't have access to sharing people's lists unless it's your own. In the future, maybe if there was like an admin thing, that'd be different. But yeah, so you can like do multiple lists. You can type it and it'll search. You can attach a name. So I was sharing a lot of things with Danielle because that was the easy way. If you share, yay, Danielle is invited to your list. And now up here, it'll show you all the people that you have shared it with. And then I'm like, let's delete Danielle back from it. And then she gets removed from the list. This updates. And yeah, that's what I got.
That looks good. One question that came to mind when you were demoing, when you share, if you share it with like someone who doesn't already exist in the system, does it
Yeah,
like create a
it'll
user?
give
Or does it have to look?
a message. Here, let me show. So let's say I'm like, okay, let's share it with at gmail.com. And oh, user not found. Please try again.
Ah, okay, cool,
Oh,
nice.
I did it live. Yeah, the one issue that it just kind of showed us is we had a loading thing that was working, but then there was an issue with the loading, so then it got removed. So now we're having a small bug where like if you refresh the page, it'll kind of like flash your login screen. So that is one thing that we'll have to update. But that just like started last night. So that was we didn't have time to fix it in time.
Awesome, yeah. You always do a great job at demoing. So thanks for that.
Thanks. I do have a question. If one of y'all mentors wanted to look through the code, I was having a struggle with creating an error message for like if someone has previously shared a list with that person, it would like I would love to have a pop-up that happens that says like, you've already shared this list. I was trying to get the functionality to work and I could not get it to work. So if any of y'all had any tips, that would be wonderful.
Which do you have a branch that it's that you were working with for that specific thing that's like available?
It's in Maine currently. Like we
Oh,
merged it
okay.
last night. So it's all up to date and I haven't made like an issue for the bug. Um
Yeah, I can take a look at that and
I
see.
tried a couple different things and I was falling short.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look hopefully later today or early this next week.
It's not the worst thing to not have, but it
Hmm.
would be better to have it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and unless there was anything else you wanted to highlight in the demo section, I think we can move on to the retro. Cool, yeah, let's do it. Jeremiah, you want to take lead?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna share the retro in chat. Should be this. And I see that everyone popped up in the top right, so we can get started and just fill it out like we normally do. Okay, and then I see that typing is slowed down, so I'm gonna give it like another minute. Okay. Is anybody still working on posting? Okay. So I moved them into alphabetical order, just that way people will be, they can go through theirs all at the same time. Except for the first one, oh, I should share screen. Okay. Except for the first one, doesn't have a name. Kind of thinking might be Steffi, but
That was me. Sorry.
oh, okay, okay. It's okay, it's okay.
Yes. Yeah, just appreciate Al's work, adding all of those new features and putting a lot of time and energy into that.
Cool. And then the next few are Aloe.
Sweet. Yeah. I appreciate Steffi for pair programming with me. We had a couple days where we spent many hours labbing together, and I had a lot of fun. And yeah, sometimes when pair programming doesn't feel forced, it's like it's really nice. I appreciate Hannah for having high expectations of our design and pushing us to be better. I think that design is both fun and excruciatingly hard. And so I love your pixel perfect detail, even if sometimes I'm like, it's hard to get there. And then I appreciate Emilio for always being so communicative and proactive with his communication. I feel like it helps set people up for success. And then I appreciate people letting me kind of take charge on all the features that I wanted to build. I had a lot of extra time, so I got to use it to do the stuff, but I had a lot of fun. And yeah, thank you.
Cool. Next is Danielle.
Let me unmute myself. Yeah, I think you all have been really great at like not only just getting things in on time, but also just early. And yeah, definitely kudos to you all. Because sometimes as a mentor, it can be stressful of like, are they pair programming? Are they doing the task? And then it's like, then you're merging it right before you're demoing. And like, yeah, it's just kind of stressful for everyone. So thanks for being great about getting stuff in on time and early.
And then we have Hannah.
Sorry, I'm looking at my screen. Yeah, just thanks for Emilio for putting all that time and energy into the nav bar and just trying to like get the design to look good and keeping us organized. Appreciate that. And then, sorry, I thought I added one for Steffi, but I guess I didn't. But just spending all that time on the login. I know doing like the routes can be a pain in the ass sometimes, but seems to be working well for the most part. So I appreciate you taking that on.
And then I have me, just all the mentees working together and coming up with a nice looking app. And last week, uh, the like description of what you wanted it to be, I think it matches really well with what you ended up with, which is cool to see too. And then we have Emilio.
Yeah, all right. So kudos to Alice, Stephanie, and Hannah for completing a large number of issues this week. While I was kind of like, working on the nav bar that became like a Frankenstein with like all the components I had to do inside it. So kudos to the group for keeping those issues moving. And then kudos to Aloe for volunteering to do the sharing related components. it's a feature that I may incorporate in the nav bar if I have time. When we were envisioning the nav bar, that was one aspect of it that we wanted. So I will keep that in mind when I'm working on it.
I appreciate Danielle for spending office, like almost the whole office hour, reminding me how to use console logs to like find problems. We had, she helped me a lot with that, so thank you. Nick, thanks for being on it with my review and just being willing to take your time to do that. I appreciate all the other three devs. You guys are still just so committed to communicating and really like doing what you say and letting us know where you're at. And I really appreciate that. And yeah, Al, thanks for all the extra time that you're putting in. It's really fun. And it's really great to like have all these ideas and see them like coming out. So thanks a lot for your time.
And then for what went well, we're back to Aloe.
I'm just really proud of how the app looks. It's coming to fruition. It's got features. It looks pretty.
And then we have two from Danielle.
Yeah, so yeah, just great job with the past 2 weeks, plus I guess the upcoming week can be a little daunting and scary when there's not very much like, it's just like do styling, like kind of generic and not like super clear direction. I think you all have done really great with taking the ambiguousness and making it less ambiguous and asking good questions of of each other, of us, and just starting to get it done. And then the second part was, yeah, just wanted to reflect on just seeing lots of growth just amongst the team with the way that you communicate with each other. Yeah, it's a little clunky at first because you kind of don't really know each other that well. And yeah, it's just been great to see that kind of growth and things organically happen.
Yeah. For mine, PR reviews were done quickly by everyone. I kept seeing the emails like of the issues moving. Yeah, so that was really well done.
Yeah, mine is just that, the app's working really well. It's coming together and there are a few bugs, but I feel like that's expected, but overall it's going pretty well.
Okay. And then me. So just figuring out how to fix the different issues that came up for, like making things slot in together and that kind of thing. Just seeing all like the GitHub bot posts was kind of cool to see how quickly and how often things were getting pushed and merged and everything. And then we have Nick.
Yeah, I just was noticing how you guys got a lot done this week, and you had some ambitious goals that we laid out last week, and it was a lot, but you've been doing a lot, so good job.
I thought that we did a really good job of planning and then like taking the time to just like stop and figure out what we wanted. And that went really well because I know I, for one, am like, what was I doing? And I can just go find that list. Or if I'm in the middle of something and I find something, then I have somewhere that I can go to like add like a note. So that went really well. And it's very exciting to just see the app transform from like the first couple days where we were like, or the first couple issues where we were like, what's with this manage list page? And then now it's like, it just looks like how we wanted to, and it's really exciting.
And then we're to Aloe under what could be improved.
So having the sign in with redirect as our login button function messed us up a little bit. So just like for future projects, maybe having some new logic there for like new collabs. That way they don't have to spend time figuring that out on their own. And then something that we could improve on is updating our colors in our app to be more modular with their theming in the Tailwind config file. That way, like, you know, if we want to change all of the things with that variable at the same time, we could. We don't have to like go to each individual thing and like restyle it.
And then we have Danielle.
Yeah, so I was reviewing Steffi's updates to the auth just because we were like pairing on it and I was familiar with it. And I noticed like, yeah, Firebase does like the preview URLs, which are nice, but like they're kind of randomly generated. And one thing with OAuth, this thing uses OAuth. The redirect URL is very important because it needs to match what's in the settings. And it looks like the way they do it in Firebase is like you add it to the allow list of the domains. And I tried it on the deployed version of the app. It was PR preview and it was not working. And I mean, luckily the console had like a helpful error message. I just knew I needed to go into Firebase and add it to the list of allowed domains for it to work. But I feel like that's something that should happen automatically as part of the deploy. So I don't know if it's something with like the way the repo is set up or if it's unique to just like our repo, but I was just going to mention that I'll provide that feedback to the Collab Lab team because that seems weird to have to manually go in there every time you want to test. So
And then we have Hannah.
Yeah, just having some more consistency with the components that we're building being reused and the styling among them, but the app's also not done, so there's lots more time to do that.
And then Steffi.
I think I don't know what the best, I don't know, sometimes, yeah, I don't know what the best, I think I'm learning about this, but if the first step maybe in our plan was to like get all of the components built and then they could be implemented in like the bigger scope of things, that might have been smoother. I don't know, but that was just the thought I had as I was trying to come up with something. If we did that step first, then when we went to do the bigger layouts and like the nav bar and stuff, it could just be thrown in. I'm not sure, but that was an idea.
And then things learned, we have Nick.
Yeah, I got a little bit of introduction to Tailwind just from reviewing PR, so that was interesting. So maybe I'll start learning more about it.
And then we have Aloe.
Yeah, this is my first time working with Firebase, and I feel like I'm starting to understand it a lot more, which I love. I don't know if I could build the code to put Firebase in an app on my own, but you know, baby steps.
I think you could. And then we have Steffi.
I thought Tailwind was super hard, but I think it's really cool. I like the idea of it. And Flowbyte was also very different than like say styled components, which I've used in the past. So it's been interesting to learn about those.
And then we have Emilio.
Yeah, when I reviewed, I don't know if it was Stephanie's or Aloe's issue, but toward the beginning, it was toward the beginning of this week, of last week. I learned about the React outlet component that was incorporated in the layout page. I had not used that personally before, so when I saw that in the review, I researched more into it, and it's definitely useful. So yeah, well, that was one thing I learned after reviewing. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, I didn't have time to write this, but I guess like it didn't occur to me when I was building out the nav bars features that some of the components that we had previously created like really saved me time. Like the add list component, for example, I had to I was able to incorporate like the functionality from that. Like obviously had to make adjustments to the styling so that it would fit in the nav bar. But I think that was just nice. I didn't I didn't account for the fact that it was going to save me time. So that was good.
I want to piggyback real quick and say that I also learned about React Outlet. I've never used that before, and Steffi taught me a little bit, and then also I researched a little bit, so yay to new things.
Cool. Yeah, a lot of good stuff here. I like the things learned probably the most, just because that is like all stuff that we learned from each other. So very cool. I think I'm gonna pass it back to Danielle.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I guess I'll just do like some quick announcements and then think we might have some time. So we can let you into your day, or if you want to spend some time with like planning and coordinating, that's fine too. But yeah, the last thing that I just wanted to mention, I've got a timed Slack message sent at 10 a.m. Pacific, so you'll see this in our channel as well. But this week, Nick's going to be doing office hours. If you need a mentor code reviewer, Jeremiah's going to be doing that. And I already mentioned this, but like TBD on the day time of the full cohort sync. I'll do my best to like announce it in our channel, but I think it's also going to be announced in like the cohort 1 2024 channel. So keep an eye out for that. And then one final thing that I didn't say is I'm going to be putting together a Dev2 article, just like kind of about like our team, our project. And once it's like fully complete and like ready to do some screenshots, definitely at me in our channel. So then I can add some screenshots. And I think like my main goal with doing this is just going to be to like give you another outlet where promote you for hopefully being able to get some good job leads. This will be under the Collab Lab Dev2. So you can kind of look there to get a flavor of what past cohort blog posts have looked like. But yeah, hopefully this helps you all.
Thank you for offering to do that. That's really appreciated.
Yeah, totally. I don't take full credit of this because it's part of the curriculum, but yeah, definitely glad to do it. Because yeah, I think the whole point of this is to give you all you know, more hands-on, like real work, what it might look like, but also networking and resources to find a job, because it's not the easiest. So cool. But yeah, I guess with that, did you all want to kind of do something similar to last week? Did you need to do some coordinating on your issues? Or if not, or if people just want to socialize, I'm cool with whatever. Or if we just want to go out into our Sunday.
I had one quick question. Sorry to interrupt before we move forward. The sync, the cohort sync, is there any way, is that going to be on Sunday for sure? Or is the day like in the air, up in the air?
Yeah, that I'm not sure of. I think one thing is, I think because it's like, this is like my personal opinion slash take. So like someone else might have a different one, but I kind of feel like just because they didn't give you like a lot of notice of when it's going to be, I personally kind of have the opinion that like unofficially being kind of more like of an optional thing. With the exception of like at least one person in this group should come to like represent us, you know, whether that be a mentor or a participant, just so we can, you know, show your awesome project to everyone and make them jealous. But
I know something that was talked about like in the beginning or like right before the cohort was like, if you can't make it, if your group can't make it to whenever the sync is, then like recording a short video demoing it is an option too. It's better to like be there and be able to show it off, but that's an alternative.
oh, cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. Thanks, Jeremiah. helps to have people in the committees in our group.
Well, I guess I'll be just on the lookout for it because I know I'll be back in cell service sometime on Sunday and then be like driving on Monday. But if I was able to be there, I would want to be there. But just yeah. Thank you.
Is it okay with everyone if I didn't feel good about showing it, but I'd like to show the nav bar just so that like
Yeah.
everyone's on the same page with what it's looking like. At this point, all right, one sec.
Also, Emilio, I know you said that you had to restyle the like add list function. We could also make it into a modal so that it pops up over the screen. That way you don't have to worry about the styling, even though you've already done the work on that.
Thanks.
So
Yeah.
that could be another option.
Yeah, thanks. I think yeah, we can definitely explore that. We can definitely explore that, yeah. Yeah, let me just pull this up and then we can talk about thoughts and stuff. All right, so okay, so here's the nav bar. I tried to get it like as close, like I was explaining, like as close to the Figma as possible. So like yeah, so here's the new list button so that the user can create a new list. I try to get the cover effect and the coloring, like I use the exact coloring from the Figma. And then, yeah, there are scroll bars if the lists exceeds like, as you know, if it starts exceeding the bounds of the width that I set for the actual like element here. So that's why with like shared with me, like there's no scroll bar yet because it hasn't started exceeding the boundary. But these are the lists that I've created. These are the lists that have been shared with me. This is just, you know, this was just me applying light styling so that the user could create the list from the nav bar directly. I've already tested this, it works. And yeah, I used a combination of like our modal plus like the add item to create this, and just kind of kept the styling the same as what appears in the homepage, or very similar to it. And the two things we talked about adding before were like the little avatars here, like for the number of people, or here, I'm sorry, here that that the list has been shared with. So if it's like two people, two little avatars, and then you can hover over it and show the actual email addresses of the people that it's been shared with. And yeah, the slide in, slide out transition is something that we also talked about, but that's it. Yeah, so
It
that's
looks
it for
so
mine.
good.
It looks
Thanks.
so good.
Great.
Thanks. Thanks. Again, like I'm glad we had the Figma as a template, because like the way that was done was done really well. So I just tried to get it to match. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And then yeah. So if anyone has any feedback, we can, you know, discuss that at any point. But yeah.
I love it. I think you did a great job.
Thanks. Thanks.
Ditto.
I started a light mode, dark mode, but I put it on pause while I was waiting for things to be kind of like pushed and merged. Just because there was gonna be so many things that I was gonna have to just change. But it's like I have it working. I just need to update with the stuff that has been most recently merged, and then I need to change some of the styling just a little bit. But I can demo what I have so far, if y'all want to see.
I think that's a good idea because then we can see what everyone thinks about the background.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, okay, Steffi and I did a thing too. So let me pull it up real quick.
Hannah, real quick while you do that, Ella, did you like the how the graph paper is on the login, like that color is light enough.
Did you change it to the blue one?
Yeah, and it's a lot lighter than it was the first time.
Yeah, I think I sent a message that it was, yeah, it's a lot better than,
Oh, yay. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Because I thought, like, I actually almost like liked the gray one better, but it just wasn't enough contrast. And then the other one was like too blue, but this one's a lot better.
That was my exact process too, so I'm glad.
Did you just add an opacity to it, or what did you do?
No, I created that in Canva. So
Okay,
I
cool.
just changed the color there because I thought it would be better to have that just be the color it should be instead of having to style it. Since it was just all encompassing.
Yeah.
I will say for the graph paper that we incorporated in this feature that I'm going to show, we did it before y'all talked about the changing the graph paper to blue, so it is still gray in this specific design. But let me share my. Okay, so we have the yeah, the background is gray, and then we got a little button up here, and then it changes it to this nice little dark mode. Obviously things haven't been updated with the most recent styling, with everything pushed, but yeah, this is what I came up with. A little button just lets you go back and forth, and when you refresh, it persists. That's it.
Does it start as light or dark mode, or does it like use the browser preferences?
So I started incorporating about that. So it, in theory, I don't have my browser set up to a certain thing, so I'm not exactly sure. But it should operate with browser settings first, and then it should be able to be overwritten if you click the button, um, so that you can choose what you want as an option.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's a good path to take.
I haven't fully tested it though, because I don't know if my browser is technically in light mode or dark mode. I have like dark colors, but I think that's just dark themed. I don't think I'm in dark mode, if that makes sense. But I don't know. It's a Mac and I'm not used to it yet. It's new to me.
Yeah, I think it's like based off the system setting theme in Mac, I think. Yeah, I don't know how it works on Windows or Linux, so
I don't know how it works either. And I have a Mac and I think mine is set on dark mode. I have no idea.
I will say for the color scheme, I'm very open to changing it. I just kind of went with like what's on like the opposite side of the spectrum. And then I personally really think that the little light graph paper in the background was really cute. And like because we have things set up with like divs that have a pretty like contrasted background, I feel like it doesn't take away or like it's not too like muddy. But very open to feedback if people disagree.
Yeah, and it looks a lot different on the screen share than it does when you actually open the branch. Because in the screen share, it's even more subtle and more kind of like you can barely see it. But if you open the branch, it's a lot easier to see what the actual colors are as far as the graph paper goes. The only other thing I thought of was, and I think we're close to time. Oh, yeah, 10 minutes. I gotta talk forever. Now the only other thing I thought of was like the logo and the name of the app, which we still kind of don't have. And I know Aloe and I have gone back and forth. I don't know what Hannah and Emilio think, but I'm very interested in what you guys think or what your ideas are.
Yeah, if I'm not out of bounds by asking this, like maybe the mentors can also chime in with name ideas.
This is the hardest part. I'm like, I am not a
Yeah.
designer. I know I am not a designer. I'm like, I don't know, call it something.
I do not think I can give you very good name ideas. I do have an idea for coming up with an idea, which I remember that I think we did this. When I did this program, I think we all just got on a call, and then we like had a common like Google Doc or sheet and just started throwing things out in there. And then at the end, we kind of just like looked at them all and picked our favorite.
I
Yeah.
did ask the AI.
Daniel, great idea.
Yeah, we did.
Ask the robot.
Yeah, I was like, here are some things and make it a little bit abstract. So I was like, I don't want it to be kitschy and and yeah. I don't know, Hannah and Emilio, did you see the design that I came up with? I came up with like a wider one too. Like I have a little square and then a little wide one, but I don't think I posted the wide one.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I think it like, I guess in my mind, because it's a smart shopping list, that needs to be like super apparent. And I felt like it was a really cool, like even like play on words, but it doesn't like, I'm not immediately like, oh, it's like a smart shopping list. So that's kind of my only thing, but I also don't have any like ideas.
My thought process behind it was like when I think of apps, not all apps are named what they are. Like if I think of like Asana, I'm like, what is Asana? Asana is basically kind of what we're doing, but like more and like less shopping and just more like list based. And so I was thinking like what we could have is like a little tagline that's like on our login page, right? It says smart shopping app. So it's like if you go there, you're gonna know what it is based on that. You don't need to know it by the name of our app, but we can be less abstract.
I guess my only thing was like the first thing when I looked at it was like idea list. And that doesn't like that was like the first thing my brain went to. And then that's not even like remotely close to like a smart shopping list. But like I know like once I was reading what I was like, oh yeah. But that was just kind of like at first glance.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't know if it's lame, but like maybe if we do like if we do have a logo that it incorporates like a shopping cart or like a shopping basket, like those ideas sound lame as I'm saying them, but I don't know what other things we could use that would like that are readily, associated with shopping.
You could do like list genius.
I liked that
Yeah.
one.
We did like that one.
I still really like my logo design, but also I will take feedback on that too. I just thought it was cute because I was like, the light bulb is like a check mark and it's like in someone's little head. And I was like, that's cute.
It's way better than mine. I'll say that for sure. So
I think List Genius is better for sure.
I like List Genius. I think List Genius I like ideal lists a lot, but I agree that it doesn't capture the shopping aspect of it. So I think people might not, if I was going to look for a shopping list app, I wouldn't necessarily think just by looking at the name of it, that would be what I was looking for.
That's why you gotta have good SEO.
True.
Maybe we could just have like incorporate a shopping cart or a shopping basket in the logo. Um, I'm not good at designing things, but um, I don't know. As far as I think List Genius is a good idea. As far as like a logo, yeah, however you guys, I don't have any like strong preferences on that.
I agree also. If whatever you guys want, I'm happy to.
Well, why don't we just do List Genius and then Aloe, you can use the little logo you made already. And then maybe like, are you able to change it to use like the blue that's in the like the button color? It's kind of like the bit like popping out to make it like consistent.
Yeah, I can look at that. If we do that blue with the yellow that Steffi brought up a good point that it looked kind of like Walmart colors. Um, so I can look at it, or I can find maybe a different shade of that blue. Like, you know how Tailwind does the different shades of the same. We can look at that to see if there's like a better one within that tone that looks good.
Yeah, and I think if we did something, if we did incorporate the shopping cart, I think it'd be cool to do like a bag and like a more like a bag than a cart. I don't know. My brain goes to
I
cart.
thought of doing like a paper bag with the little light bulb symbol on the paper bag. Um, not the head, but just the little light bulb check mark. But um, then I was like, yeah, I don't know. I had thoughts about the shopping bag. I don't remember what they were though.
Or a canvas bag or something. I don't know. We could see what if you wanted to mess around with it, see what it looks like, or um, if putting the shopping part in there is the
I can
plan.
lab up a few ideas and send the Canva link.
I know like Trader Joe's has like a bunch of differently styled tote bags that are like
Yeah,
they're
they
really
do.
crazy. Yeah.
I
So
have
maybe
heard.
that's yeah, yeah, same. Like I think what yeah, what Stephanie just said about like incorporating that might be a good it might turn out to look nice. If we incorporate like a design like on a bag. Um I don't know why, well-styled tote bags are fun, but they are. So maybe there's something there.
The funny part about Trader Joe's too is the employees will like give you their opinions on them too. They'll be like, "This one's my favorite," and so good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're fun. They're fun bags, yeah.
Um, oh, maybe 2 minutes. I was thinking about the loading state being like how when it was incorporated in the app at the first, it was blocking. And when you tried to deploy from anything that wasn't the normal browser you're working on, it didn't have the data. So it just had a constant loading state. So I was thinking of maybe if we put that logic into each route, it could give us that loader or the component, and then that might work. I don't know if that seems logical.
I also never got that loading state problem that you got. So I was really curious how you got
Me,
that.
yeah, me and Danielle both did. If you, oh, if you just even open the deployed app,
Oh, okay.
it happened. It only worked if you, the app only worked if you used your like browser that you always use, because somewhere something was being stored. I don't know
Gotcha, gotcha.
exactly, but if you use any other browser or any other, even Chrome without a recognized, um, whatever cookie or something, it wouldn't work. So it was definitely necessary to remove it. It was getting an empty array, so it was never ever going to come out of that state. But I think I'll try adding the loader or the spinner to each component um, on the route and see if that fixes it.
You also think it'd just be worth it to do lazy loading?
Yeah, or that's another idea. I could do that.
I'm
Which,
down for whatever feels easier,
okay. Okay, cool.
more accessible for you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks. It's fun to remember being a kid and eggs and dye and stuff.
Also, I can, when I'm doing the theming, I can go through and try and make everything more like modular, like I was talking about, like changing the tailwind config to kind of have just the variables for each of the colors and stuff. So that way, if you ever wanted to like change everything all at once, you can kind of do it from the config file instead of having to go to each component. I can tackle that if y'all are good with that.
How should we name them? Because like the one that I did, I named it like I did like TCL Blue 500. The other ones were kind of just that's more consistent with like how Tailwind does it, and that's how I've done it in projects in the past. But I don't know what you think is the best way to do it.
Yeah, so I was naming things to kind of be like what they were. That way when you're doing it, because like if you were to change it from blue at some point, like if we wanted a different color, then we wouldn't want to name blue. You'd want to change that part too. And so that's why like if we were to change things from like what color they are, that's why I wasn't naming them as an actual color. I was just naming them like, base background or nav background or app background or that kind of stuff. Because if we were to change the color.
Right.
But we can do it in whatever way seems fit. I don't personally love all of the ones I've named currently, so I can change them. I kind of was just putting them in as like placeholders for the time being.
And some of them, like I think you had like 3 different things. Like I get that they were used in like different places, but they were all just like the color white. I don't know if that's like I get like the idea behind that, but I've also never done it that way. So I think anyway is fine at the end of the day.
I've also never done it this way because I've never had an app big enough that I needed to do this per se. But yes, I feel you.
I think the scheme of like background color light or font color light or font color accent or like something like that is what I learned. I don't know if that's standard or how it's done, but rather than it being like the color, like trying to group it based on like imagining what you might change. Like these are the 3 background colors we use. These are the 3 text colors we use. Even if it might be white and white, then if you were going to change those text colors, you could do it all at once, like you were saying. I don't know. That was kind of my thought, was more how Allo did it.
I realize that we're over time now. Do we all want to depart and go about our day?
Yeah, I do need to get going, but I think we also maybe we can like just async figure out what we're gonna do for the following week. I was already chatting with Al a little bit about what I might work on, but I'll just post in the group just so that we're not working on the same thing. Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, if this is the last time I'm on a Zoom call with you, it's been great. I think we're all connected on, LinkedIn and in Slack. So surely, definitely reach out. Like if you ever see any of us that have connections at a company you want to apply to, like definitely utilize that. That's how I've gotten a lot of my jobs. So happy to help y'all. But anyway, yeah, it's been great. Cue the vitamin C graduation song, I guess. Looking forward to seeing the final project though too. So definitely link that to me for the blog post. But awesome. Yeah, catch you all later.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Thanks, Nick and Jeremiah.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye all.
Thank you.